Good morning, everybody. My name's Cameron Brooks, and I'm Sustainability Manager here at EXPOL. I want to say thank you for taking some time out of your day to come along and listen to our floor and slab insulation webinar. We're going to keep the session fairly short and sharp and to the point, and we will be able to get into more detail in terms of our solutions next year. First of all, I'd like to tell you a little bit about EXPOL. We're New Zealand's largest polystyrene manufacturer. We're a family-owned business and we've been in operation for over 40 years. We have 7 factories around New Zealand and 7 recycling plants around the country too. We partner with all of the major merchants and have nationwide availability of our product. We're also really proud of the work we do in relation to sustainability. We recycle over 400 tonnes of polystyrene each year. Just like to introduce some of the members of the EXPOL team. First of all, we have Mark Mashevsky, our General Manager. Say good day, Mark. We have Wayne Watson, our Technical Manager, who will be running the body of the session today. Thanks, Wayne. And finally, we have Damon Sayer from BuildSmart. I'm sure many of you know Damon and have spoken to him over the years. Damon acts on EXPOL's behalf, calling on architects and specifiers, talking about our products, talking about our solutions, and providing education and training. We really appreciate having Damon on board and access to his base of wonderful clients. So the purpose of today, we want to talk about our new solutions, and we want to introduce our slab insulation calculator, and we also want to address any queries you may have. If you have questions, feel free to pop them in the Q&A and we'll look to get to these at the end of the webinar. There's a really wide range of people in the audience today. So we just ask that questions keep sort of fairly generic. If you have something very specific or specific to a project, we'll give you the details for the tech team so that you can touch base with them afterwards. Just so you're aware, we're recording the webinar. And what we'll do at the conclusion is send you through a link to the webinar as well as some of the resources that we talk about today. Shortly, I'll hand over to Wayne and he'll take us through the H1 changes as they affect underfloor products and concrete slab insulation. He'll get into a bit of detail around the new products that we've developed. Then he'll jump in and take us through the concrete slab insulation calculator. And finally, we'll wrap up with a Q&A session. So I'd like to hand over to Wayne now. Thanks, Wayne.
Thanks, Cameron. Welcome, everybody, again. Going to be going through where we are at the moment with our current standards and the changes that are going to come through, which I'm sure you're all aware of. And of course, so for wooden floors, we're 1.3 for the entire country, and for that applies to concrete floors as well at the moment, unless you've got heating in the floor. Of course, then you've got to have some insulation. So 1.3 across the board from one end of the country right to the other for concrete and timber floors as it stands today. And those changes, of course, wooden floors for zones 1, 2, and 3 are going to go to 2.5. Zone 4 would be 2.8, and 5 and 6 are going to go to R3. So the changes to our wooden floor product, which is currently at 60 millimeters thick and has an R value of 1.4 in the white product. And if we go to our premium product, which is the EXPOL Black, at R1.8 and also 60 mil. So that's going to change. Both products are going to change to 100 mil. The white product will go to R2.5 and the black product will go to R3.1. So for zones 1, 2, and 3, we'll use the 2.5, and zones 4, 5, and 6 would use the 3.1. We just kept it nice and simple and got 2 products. We've got some new fixings coming through, which would suit the thicker product going into the joist. We've also got a saddle joist there that goes over. So for a new floor, we use the saddle joists, and for the existing floors or retro fitting or a new build from an extension, You can always get underneath and you can use our new retrofit clip or Z clip. So then that's pretty much our underfloor product covered. That's pretty simple. Then going back, if we just go back to that table and look at slab on ground, or 3604 as I call it, or pod floors, where 1.5 for 1, 2, and 3. Zone 4 is also at 1.5, and 5 is 1.6, and then 6 is 1.7. That's not a lot of change from what it was before at 1.3, but of course the whole calculation method has been done different now. And so there is quite a bit of extra insulation required as opposed to what there is now, which is at 1.3, none required at all. So we'll just move on to our concrete floor solutions. So we've got a number of products that will work with concrete floors. First, we've got our edge insulation. So some floors, whether it be a pod floor or a 3604, may be able to get away with just some edge insulation. So we've got XPS, which is an extruded polystyrene. It's an imported product. It is highly moisture resistant and ideal for the edge of a slab. So that's the XPS product there. And then we've got a flashing, aluminium flashing, Z flashing, we call it, which fixes to the bottom plate, comes out over the edge of the edge insulation, and the exterior cladding can then come down. So that's on a timber frame with a cavity batten cladding system. If it was a brick veneer, then you wouldn't probably bother with the flashing at all. It would just, the render and polystyrene doesn't come pre-finished, the XPS. So that's got to be rendered, and that would just be rendered up to the first mortar line on your brick veneer. So that's our edge insulation. We'll just go on, I'll just clear those drawings, keep it nice and tidy. Then we go on to edge insulation and under slab insulation. So this is 3604. We've got our edge insulation in there again. We've got our thermoslab product, which we would normally work with H grade. And then under the footings, we developed a product last year to take the place of XPS. It is an expensive product. It is imported and not always easy to get. So we came up with Slab X200, has a rating of 200 kPa at 10% compression. And we see that that's ideal for going under footings and under thickenings in conjunction with thermoslab, or you could just decide to put Slab X200 under the entire slab, whatever you decided to do there. Going on to our next floor. So EXPOL works with MaxRaft. There's lots of other options out there, but MaxRaft, we're working with them at the moment. We're producing all their product, and we thought that'd be a good example to show everybody where the three options that we've picked out of their portfolio. Just looking at that. So they've got a edge insulation, but it's an L shape. It is unique to MaxRaft, and that's this fella here. So that's an L shape. It's made out of a very high density polystyrene. And then you've got, so this floor, this MaxRaft option uses pods that can use our normal waffle, hollow, non-structural pods, or it could use solid pods if they're trying to boost the insulation up. Here you'll see that there's the ribs that the pods create, that the concrete floor is sitting on. On the ribs, the edge beam and any thickenings throughout the floor. And of course, that's what the primary purpose of pods are, and that's to create the ribs. But of course, with polystyrene, it's insulation material. It adds insulation to the slabs, now more important than ever before. I'll just clear that, and I'll go through to MaxRaft Plus. So MaxRaft Plus is pretty much the same as the previous MaxRaft option, except that in this one, they've opted to insulate under the ribs. So now we've taken out all the thermal bridging or thermal breaks. So that heat that's in that slab, it can't really escape anywhere. It's totally encapsulated in insulation. Yeah, it's a well insulated slab or system. The other option that we've picked is a max slab. So this is a little bit different. It's not a pod floor. It's very close to 3604, and that we've used that same edge profile again that we had before. Fella there, made out of that high density insulation again, high density polystyrene. And then we've got here, we've got the sheet insulation, sheet polystyrene, high density again, under the entire slab. So that also is totally encapsulated. Heat can't escape at all. And of course you can see there that is it's a heated slab. So it's got some water pipes running through that's going to heat the slab. So those are our 3 options that we picked, or 5 options that we've got. We've got more, but those are the ones we picked out to put to this presentation. I'll just quickly clear that if we move on. Otherwise it'll be there when I do the next session. Okay, so as you're probably all aware, there's a calculation now, square meterage to perimeter, and that's going to determine how you arrive at the insulation value that you need for the design that you've done, whether it be a small box house or whether it be an extravagant mansion. They're all going to have that calculation done to work out what you need. So what we'll do is we'll just go into our calculator that we've put on our website. This is going to give us our perimeter to square meterage area. So I'm just going to bang in there today, 250 square meters. We'll do our edge perimeter 95. It's pretty high, and let's say that we need an R value of 1.8, and then we'll calculate that. And that's brought up 3 options. So standard slab on grade 3604, you could use 80mm EXPOL platinum board at R2.1. You can use a standard, not a standard, but you can use a waffle slab system, EXPOL MaxRaft Max 85 will give you 1.8, or you could opt to go for a high performance, the EXPOL Max Slab at 3.2. So you can hop in there and you can have a bit of a play with it and see what works for the designs that you guys are doing. And this is all new to us as well, so we're working through, and things will change over the next 6 months, I would say, and then there'll be different ways of achieving what we need to achieve to meet the code. So, and then of course we've got down there after the calculator, you can put in some information, you can put your details in there, what you're doing in your notes, you can fire that through to us. That'll go through to our tech team. There's 3 of us, and we will come back to you, and hopefully we can all help. So anyway, so that's it for me. If you've got any questions, fire them on through, and I will hand back to Cameron.
Right, I'll just jump in. I've just got the one question here. Thank you for that, Wayne. We've just got the one question here. Is the achieved R value in the floor slab calculator construction R value?
Yes, it is.
Great. Thank you, Wayne. Well, we'll just tell you what, we might just hold on a minute longer and just see if anybody else has any more questions that they want to pop in the chat box. Question here, Wayne, do you have to recess the saddle?
No, you do not. No, that can be put in place, and it can be fixed there so it doesn't move around while you're trying to drop your insulation, and that can be fixed with a small galvanized clout.
Thanks, Wayne. Okay, we'll just give it a little bit longer in case we've got any more questions, but Seems that we've covered it all off. All right, nothing more coming up there. So I'll just jump back into the deck itself. So look, really just to wrap up, first of all, I'd like to say thank you on behalf of EXPOL and Damon and the Build Smart team for taking some time out of your day to get an understanding in terms of what we're doing. I'll follow up the presentation, send you out an email. We'll have a link to the presentation if you've got anybody else that you'd like to share it with. But there are some other tools out there that's certainly worth having a look at. You'll find the house insulation guide is publicly available on the brand's website. Again, similar tool. It's a calculator. It just allows for a lot more to be factored in than the simple version that we've put together. Second on there's a link back to our calculator. For those that want to go away and do some more in-depth product knowledge training, we have a series of modules online. We call it EXPOL Expert. It gives you the ability to jump and do very quick little bite-size training modules to bring you up to speed on our products. In particular, in there, we've got our new R2.5 and R3.1 products. Next up is a link there, expolearth.co.nz. As I said, we do quite a lot of work around sustainability. We're really proud of those efforts. And if you want to go in and find out more about our work in this area, you can check it out at expolearth.co.nz. Hang on, we've had a question pop up. Let me just address that before we go. One for you again, Wayne. Is there another way to protect the edge insulation as the render? As the render is expensive.
Yeah, no. We've gone with an unfinished product for now. That may change in the future, but for now it needs to be rendered.
Cool. Thank you, Wayne. Just the final piece in here is our technical team. So you'll see the photos of the team up there. We have 3 dedicated experts out there that you can get in contact with. Wayne, our technical manager, and we have Amy and we have Jack, both based here in the South Island. You can get hold of the guys via tech@expol.co.nz if you've got anything specific you want to follow up on. Just one moment, we've had another question pop up. Thanks, guys. What is the CO2 of the floor system?
We'll need to come back to them on that one.
Yeah, we can come back to you on that one and send some more information out. Leave that one with us. I'm assuming we're talking life cycle analysis. We can come back to you on that. But just to wrap up again, thank you on behalf of EXPOL and Build Smart. Appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come and join us. Keep an eye out for the information pack that'll be out later on to your email this morning. And if you have any questions or need any more information, please feel free to get in touch with the technical team at EXPOL. Thank you.